Right, morning guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So I'm going to keep this simple today, simply because we have got a ton of news on the euro and the Bank of England interest rates. So I don't want to be in anything at all, if anything today, to be fair. But we'll mark stuff up. And I'm just going to start with the euro at the minute. We've come out the session, we've come back in, waiting for a touch back in the 50, and I'm expecting a drop down, continuation down. Like I say, I'm only going to put two or three things on here today. We're in the range. Uh, I'm not liking that. I did think yesterday the price was going to do this up to this area from yesterday's session. It looks as if it's doing that, but it's just messing around. Euro USD again. We've got a nice head and shoulder pattern possibly forming. There's a left shoulder down, head down. We just need the right shoulder. So or it may continue down, to be fair. We do need to see a push back, displacement. So again, that might form the right shoulder up to here, and then we might see a tank down to these ranges from the other week. GBP odd, we're looking at this. Again, we're coming in to test these lower key areas. We've been in a massive bearish momentum at the minute. MACD is showing bearish tendencies with the signal lines and the volume at the moment. So again, we'll be waiting for a pullback and then a continuation down. The GBP, JPY, it's messing around in the range. The GU massively came out of here. Let's just take a look. Yeah, so similar to the EU, left shoulder will come down, head, bang, will possibly come back to test into a right shoulder area here for price to, let me just get this in. To do that sort of thing. So what I'm getting at is we'll come up, come down, head, down, right shoulder, and then a drop down to this range here, take us into these ranges from the other day. Uh, I'll just put that in there and leave it pink. I'm not going to be looking to trade that, but that's the bias I've got on that today. I'm either going to be right or I'm going to be wrong. It's a 50-50 to be fair. Uh, do we do the G or yeah, we've done the G or the GE, GPP, USD cards. So we've been in a massive downtrend. I mean, I spoke about this the other day. The Trump effect would be in a normal price range. Okay. Trump done the announcement of tariffs with Canada, and then he backtracked saying that he was going to be delaying it. So it come back down into price range. And with him doing that announcement, it had a huge gap. And now prices start to come back into a normalized range like this, I got stuck on a trade on this on the position trader the other day. I've just come out of it. If I just go into the Discord and I can show you that was in the position trader here. You can see here it opened an order for a buy. It got stuck in the downtrend a bit and prices come back to normalized. It was still running for 2 days. It was like a 0.12 in negative. It was 0.14. I did close it for profit today with a around about 0.10. I tend to try and get these trades where it's going to give me maybe 0.10 profits, scalp out the profits. That account's doing really well at the minute. If I just go off on a tangent at the moment, I'll just show you an update so far for that. Let's take a look. We'll just come into this and we'll just let this show that there. And this is it. So far, I'm nearly 7% up. This week, we've done over 0.5%, which I'm happy with. I'll try to get around about 0.5%, if I'm honest with you. And you can see here the growth that it's done. 139 trades. It's running around 78%. It's 3.14 on the profit factor. This is what's been happening with this. October, I was trying to find a set file at 0.42, just under 0.5%. 2.46 in November, 1.74 in December. Coming into 2025, we're 1.141 in January. We're still in the first week of February and we're already over 0.5%, which I'm really very, very happy with. So again, that's the position trader. We'll look at the U-Chef. We'll see what's going on with this. Again, bearish trend will start to come out to try and break a market structure shift. Let's just take a look. It could be one or two ways you look at this. You could see the range up to there because we are breaking out of the bearishness. We could get a test into here. I'm just going to go into currency strength. We're looking for the U-Chef. USD is very, very strong. The chef is weak. So what I'm going to try and do with this one, guys, because it's that way. Normally we would wait for a displacement after a break of session, a displacement touching the 50%, because the strengths are the other way around. Very, very strong, very, very weak. I'm going to wait and see if I can get a test on this 50% of the session break and then try and go in the opposite direction. This could be something I can do to refine this system, in all fairness. There is another way I'm looking at doing these sort of breakouts as well, if the strengths are against, because again, when we're looking for a sweep of liquidity, it's a session break and then 50%, and we come back in. For this, it would normally be a sell, but because we are looking for a buy, a possible buy situation, because the USD is stronger than the Swiss franc. I mean, the markets are pretty weak today, to be fair. I mean, this could just be a tendency for the markets to shift and build themselves up into positions where they want to be ready for the NFP tomorrow. But this one's going to be an interesting one. And again, turn it pink because we're going to test. I want to see that touch into here. We'll see if we'll get the touch. It looks like it's going to touch there now. So I'm just going to build up the position from there up to there. Similar sort of thing. We've got separation candles there as well. Yeah. And if we come into the 1 minute, we're going from there up to here. We've had a touch into 50%. Like I say, normally we would wait for the displacement. We would get this in, John. We would wait for the displacement to come down, then come up touch, and then we would wait for a bullish candle followed by a bearish engulfing, get in on that next candle, and then we would drive it down. But what I'm saying is, like I say, hopefully you can understand this, because that USD is so strong and the Swiss franc is so weak, we could possibly flip this on its head, in fairness, and look for that continuation drive. So for that to happen, we would obviously wait for the push back into 50% and then wait for a bullish candle after there's been a bearish. Okay, so like a bullish engulfing after a bearish momentum. Just make sure we'll get this in. There's the bullish candle there after the bearish doji. So if we just do this long position, do this, we've got 15 seconds. There's a 1 to 2. There's the next candle there, forming. Come on. There we go. That's an entry. Okay. We'll just open this up. That's an entry on that candle. Gonna open this up, guys. Let's check that. I'll put it into here. Excuse me. So we've got that in. Come back into this. Bring price in. We've got USD card. None of them ever pushed through that, to be fair. Look at the USD card. The card's pretty weak as well, to be fair. So let's just have a look. Nah, I'm not liking the movement on that USD JPY. Again, we're being pretty bearish all week. Okay. If we run the play from the breakout, USD, JPY, nah, the strengths are the same, so I'm not going to try and risk that momentum onto that. So the rundown I've got for today, guys, I've got Euro, Euro, JPY. The Euro is super weak. The JPY is strong. So again, that's in our favor for that. The GU, this is just a test to see if this head and shoulder will hold for today. I'll make that purple just so I know it's somewhat out of the ordinary that I'm doing. And the test for the pink is just a test situation with regards to the setup I've got on this. We'll see what we get of this. Okay, so again, nothing out of the blue. We're trying a different situation with regards to currency strength being in the opposite favor. We've had bearish momentum all week. We're looking for a bullish market structure shift. So this would take and play with what we're looking at here. We'll collect the data on how this plays today. And obviously also waiting for the Euro GPY to touch in the 50% to do the continuation drive down. And I did have a look at gold on a setup on this. However, the gold has come back to more or less a break even at the minute. I did post this into the Discord. Or have I? I thought, yes, I have. There it is. I did post this into the Discord on a setup. And again, I'm using a different system on this one, which I'll talk more about in the coming sort of days after I've collected more data on this as well. I just want to see what happens with it. So all in all, we've got the Euro JPY waiting for a 50% return, and then we'll get in on a continuation drive down simply because the Euro is weaker than the JPY. We did have the sweep out of the Asian session, so this has got the hallmarks of the mechanics that we know and trust on the fire entry. The USD Swiss franc, because the USD is stronger, much stronger than the US, because the USD is much stronger than the Swiss franc. Okay, we do have a market structure shift in place. So we've had a breakout of this Asian session, which has been above these two sessions here on the NY yesterday. So after the breakout, and we're coming into London and the breakout of the Asian, we'll look for the return to 50% on the bullish breakout. We look for the 50% on the 5 minute, and then from that 5 minutes, we look for a continuation drive with a bit of luck to see if because that USD is stronger than the Swiss franc, we can carry on with momentum from that break. Okay. Hopefully the pennies are dropping with me thoughts on this one. So it'll be interesting to watch how this one plays. I'll pause the video and I'll be back in a short while, guys. All right, okay, guys. So we've had a touch into the 50% of the Euro GPY. Okay, so again, we're going from the high down to this low. We get the confirmation because got separation candles as well. Again, we're going to currency strength. The euro is weaker than the JPY, so it does state in the mechanics that it's in our favor. Okay, so with that in mind, you're going from the high of that breakout down to the displacement of the low. Okay, you do then need to look for a bullish candle followed by a bearish momentum. So again, we're just going to pan this out. And at the minute, we've got a bullish candle here. Okay, we'll see if this one will give us that bearish momentum to the downside. Don't like anything that's above 30 pips at most. So it's very, very tight, that, to be fair. We'll look for that 1 to 2. There's the 2. There's the entry. Okay. We are right on the market, to be fair. See what happens with this. And then I'm just going to update the Discord what I'm looking at. So again, we've got an entry on the Euro JPY. We do have that entry on the USD Swiss franc. This is the one I'm really interested in, dear, because like I say, I just had that light bulb moment on this at the moment. This is why I like to vlog, annotate, and test things. So far, it's in our favor. The currency strength is in our favor as well. The breakout as well. It showed all the characteristics for it to do well, and then obviously we've got that silly head and shoulders one that I was looking at. I mean, this one could take ages to play out, but all focus is certainly on this U shift at the minute, and we do have a possible entry on the UJ. Okay, I'll be back in a short while, guys. We're just going to have an update on where we're at on the three that I've got. So the Euro JPY is at 1% for the day. Again, that Euro JPY, the currency, it was in our favour with the Euro seeing weakness. So we waited for that displacement coming back in after the Asian break and then getting in on the engulfing bearish candle from the bullish candle. Hallmarks, fantastic. Down to the T, mechanics, system, currency strength. It just shows you the system works. USD, Swiss franc. What we've done with this one, okay, we've noticed that the USD was the stronger, the Swiss franc was the weaker. We also looked at what was happening prior on the prior days. We've been in so much bearish momentum. We've had a market structure shift. So when we get a push out of the Asian session here, where we started getting that market structure shift, I turned the tables on its head because we were having currency strength in favor of the US dollar, weakness of the chef. We knew the market structure shift was coming in. We also understand that market structure shift and the momentum should continue. So when we had a push out of the Asian coming out of the bearish trend, okay, I waited for a retracement pullback from a higher high that it made to come in to make a lower low, hoping that lower low would come into 50% of the momentum push out. It did do that. We then came in and looked at the candles on here. We seen there was separation candles. Then we dropped down to this 1 minute candle. And after the touch, we seen there was a doji candle. Okay, there was a doji candle right here, and then there was a momentum bullish candle straight after it. We entered on this candle instantly. There's been no drawdown whatsoever on this, and we are currently at above 1%. Again, 2% is the low hanging fruit target, but this was the light bulb moment I had. When we go further into using the fire entry system, okay, when we're looking for a continuation, you can do one of two things. You need to look at the currency strengths. Is the strength in the favor of a bullish move? If it was going to be looking for a sell, but also the thing is, we were bearish all the way down here for a couple of days. For a couple of days, we were bearish coming down. Bullish market push out. Why was it a bullish market push out? Because the Asian started higher than what the New York sessions from the prior day were. And as we pulled out of that Asian high, it started to come for that London session here. But doing that, it came out of the New York PM, the New York lunch, and the New York AM of yesterday. We came up nearly testing the London high of yesterday. We did get the pullback on the 15 minutes coming into 50%. We dropped it to that 5 minute. We looked at where it came into touch on the 50% with the separation candles. And then we understood that the currency strength was still in our favor, okay, with the USD, Swiss franc. So from there, what we did was when we were looking on the fire entry system model, we are flipping it on its head because we understood the bias and the direction of what was mechanically happening on this 15-minute chart. So therefore, we were just looking for the 50% touch in, and then we looked for the bearish candle followed by a bullish momentum. Textbook to the T. Entry, no drawdown, 1% in the bag. Again, this could come back. It might not do 2%. It could come back entry in SL, but at the same time, you could have bagged some profit with this. What I like about this here in the light bulb moment I had, okay, was all of this bearish momentum. We understand higher highs, higher lows, lower highs. It's just a basic market structure shift as we're coming down, lower lows, low highs, low lows, low highs, lower lows, back into the 50% of the lower high to lower low here. Messed around. We didn't break the liquidity of the AM session. We went into the AM session and the PM session of New York. We went into Asia. Asia started breaking the liquidity here of the PM and the lunch hour of yesterday, New York. We continued up, breaking the session of the AM yesterday, confirming a market structure shift. We came up and then we had that slight pullback. Every candle on here is 15 minutes of 45 minutes of retracement back into the area here. Touched on here, that made us go to that 5 minutes for the condition. We confirmed that, and then we went into the trigger point. So I'm very, very happy with that light bulb moment I have had. Again, this just shows you guys, you've got to be continuously doing things like this to sort of, you'll eventually see things that you've never seen before. And this sort of came to my attention. So this can now work in my favor when something is going in the opposite way. I can now understand the structure and why it's doing that. We've been vlogging this since just before Christmas at the end of November. We've done December. We've done January. We're now into February. So this is just evolving. The system's just evolving on itself. So I'm very, very pleased. Again, the GBP USD, it's a total out of the blue thing. This it's good. It's breaking the neckline now. It hasn't really came up to test into this, so I can just get rid of that. That was just something I was just messing around with. So I'll put this back into here, and I'll make it back to red. I was looking at gold for a setup on gold, which is a total different setup and a different system I'm using at the minute. I need further data testing with this. But from what I've seen and what I've looked at with this, it does look as if it's consistent. And I think it may work on FX pairs. But at the minute, we're using the fire entry. What I'm doing on this one, I need to collect more data on it. And once I collect the data and I see it is consistent, I'll keep you up to date with it. So when I do these vlogs, I'll factor in the odd gold look on this on a London session morning. But to end the week, because I'm not going to trade that all tomorrow, I'm not even going to bother with NFP tomorrow, FOMC or whatever. We could be heading with this in mind. We could be getting a nice 2% on the Euro JPY today, and if this goes in our favour, it could be another 2% on this one. All being well of structural, so it could be a 4% session today. Again, yesterday's session was hard because I was trading during those news times. These two pairs at the minute, the Great British Pound is what is at the forefront of today's news. So these two pairs are not really in any danger. Yes, as retail sales at 10 o'clock. The time is now, it's been 10 o'clock. So this here, the time is now 10:15. So this red folder news on here, the actual is 1.9, the previous was 1.6. So it's gained on the sales. That's good for the euro, to be fair. So again, we'll go back into this. It might affect this because we are looking for the sell, to be fair, but we are at the take partial area at the minute. But that news that's dropped at around about 10 o'clock hasn't really shifted the price much, to be fair. Okay, so at the moment we've got three that we're looking at. So we've got the Euro JPY. We understand that the euro is weaker than the JPY at the minute, which this went in our favor with regard to the setup, the natural way that we do the fire entry. The USD Swiss franc, it's still a fire entry system, but it's a different kind of model. The setups in the system is the same, but the mechanics and everything is the same. But we're actually looking more on previous structure to currency strength. Do them two combine together to make sense to maybe look for this as a when it's a session breakout and you look for the displacement. Normally on this, you would wait for that displacement come back in, then a continuation down. Because the strength was shown in the favor of a bullish momentum and there was a breakout to the buy side, we look for the retracement back to the 50% and then a continuation drive. I'm hoping the penny is dropping with that. Maybe after I do a few more setups like this, you'll get a bit of a better understanding. But for me, very good session this one today. And then finally we'll go on to gold. I will be keeping an eye on this and setups on this. I'm going to do my education a bit more and go and watching a bit more stuff on this setup system sort of thing. And again, if I find it is consistent and I do think it's useful, I'll let you guys know what it is, how to do it, and you can go test it as well. Okay, but that's the update so far. We're just over, we're on 1% on euro, 1% on USD. Hopefully, if these two continue the way we want them to, we can get a good 4% today. And then I've got the tester out on the gold. I was hoping that this might have come down. However, again, as we do these, we have hit a 1%. We have hit a 1% on gold as well from when I was marking this up. So I'm happy with that. So 3% at the minute, all in favour still. Okay. I'll see you a bit later, guys, and a good session today. That light bulb moment I'm really, really pleased with. I'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, it is 11 a.m. now. Let's just have a little recap where we are. Again, the Japanese, Euro, Japanese yen. We had a breakout. We are bearish. Back into 50%. Checked over separation candles. We look for a bullish candle followed by the bearish engulfing. There's the bullish candle right there. You can see it clearly. There's the bullish candle. There's the bearish engulfing entry. Little to no drawdown. We've clearly hit the 1%. We're starting to break down a little lower. Currency strength at the minute. The euro is still weak. Japanese yen stronger. So again, textbook entry, textbook mechanics, textbook behavior. It is showing strongly in our favor. We're heading down towards the 2%. USD Swiss franc again. We're utilizing something within our favor where I had a light bulb moment. Okay, we'll just let this play out. We've seen for days, we've been bearish, market structure shift, the breakout. We're trying this the opposite way around this time because we understand there is a market structure shift. We did have a breakout of the Asian and the New York AM session. We waited for the pullback because the strength was in favor for bullishness, the USD against the Swiss franc. We turned that market structure shift on its head. We identified the market structure breakout and the shift being in the favor of the bulls. So we go with the trend on this, on the market structure shift. We wait for the pullback on the basis that the USD was stronger than the Swiss franc. We've got the 50% touch after the breakout. So again, we're looking for, after that market structure shift, we're looking for the continuation drive simply because of the currency strength. It's a light bulb moment that I had. We've seen on here, we had the touch come back into 50%. And then when you get that 50% touch of a retracement, because 50% is the universal thing of medium on anything. Again, we can go into Fibonacci levels. Fibonacci levels and things like that, but 50% is the medium of everything. Okay. We identify structurally after the 50% touch, we look for a bearish candle. So there was a bearish one here and a doji. So that's bearish. Bullish engulfing, entry on that candle, no drawdown whatsoever. Textbook entry, textbook mechanics, textbook everything in the favor of what we're looking at. Again, it's been into a 1% move, looking for a 1 to 2. And again, there's no reason why this wouldn't go to a 2% target. There is a daily ATR, okay? Again, if I just hover on this here, you could easily go for a 1 to 3. That daily ATR runs into 50% of the lunch or of the EM of 2 days ago. And you could also argue that you could go up to this higher level up here as well. But we're looking for low-hanging fruit of 2%, okay? So the mechanics of these are working really well. We're going to have a little look at the gold as an update. Gold has done 1%. It has come back. There is something I'm learning with this at the minute. I'm very, very sort of intrigued by it. So again, I'm just testing some other mechanics on this, but we can utilize and use it alongside what you do with a fire entry sort of stuff. But it's something I'm testing at the moment on this. I'm going to be looking for certain stuff with regards to things like these EMAs and things like that. So I'll go more in depth on that as and when I get the data for it. Okay. But as for now, the session for today, not much to put in the baskets, but the ones we have put in the baskets have been quality textbook setups, and they're showing great signs of playing out the way they should for us. We're heading towards that 2% on the Euro JPY. USD Swiss franc, again, another 2%. We could be ending the day off with 4% today. And again, I've purposely not put any GBP pairs because of the Bank of England interest rates today. Okay, guys, that's the update for this. Hopefully in the next hour or two, we might hit those 2%, giving us a 4% day. I'll keep you updated, guys. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Right, guys, updates. We have getting the 2% win today on the Euro JPY. Absolute fantastic. Again, we can uh, you on that. What we're getting with the USD Swiss franc at the moment, we're still hovering just above the 1%. We'll be near the 2%. The gold, which is something different, I'm looking at the moment and trying to sort of refine and get better entry with. It did do a 1%, but it came back and wicked back up through that. So again, that's just something I'm testing at the moment and something I'm collecting data on. But today, Euro JPY so far, bang on the money, bang on the mechanics, bang on the system, played out to a T. Little to no drawdown whatsoever on this. Mechanics, the system, the bias, everything bang on for the money. And like I say, 2%. When everything aligns, there's no reason why we shouldn't get success on these. Again, similar process with the mechanics of the USD Swiss franc. Again, we're looking for that market structure shift that came out of the bearish trend. We had to break out to the buy side on the Asian session. We waited for that little bit of a pullback, the 50% medium on the 15-minute. We dropped to the 5 minutes. We've seen the separation on that. We come down into the 1 minute, waited for that entry of the bearish candle, followed by a bullish engulfing. We instantly got in on that. Again, no drawdown whatsoever. Has faltered around the 1% area. But again, mechanics, the system, the setup, the bias all come together. There is no reason why you can't have any profits on this at the moment, even if it is a take partial. I'm going to keep it live. I'll keep it going. We'll see if we can get it to that 2% win. If it does, it means 2% Euro JPY. If this one hits 2%, that's 4%. And then there was a 1% on the gold. Okay. We could end up with the day on Thursday being a 5%. But we'll see what happens. I'll update you a bit later, guys. But another fantastic day, in all honesty. I'll see you in a bit. All right, slight update, guys, because we are now at 5-1 and we're heading up towards the 2% marker on the U-Chef. You do know the Euro JPY has done the 2%. So it does look as if we're going to be hitting that 4% today on the FX pairs. At the moment, let's take a look. We are around about 3 pips, 3 pips away from that 2% on there. Again, on the gold setup, it did go to 1%. But like I said, this will come into the group of something that I'm looking at. I need to do further testing on this. But I do like on the stuff that I've seen of this. Okay, so like I said, I know people are liking to trade gold. I'm trying to get a system put in place for trading gold, if that makes sense, where based upon a session, like what I'm doing with the fire entry, we can try and find an opportunity based upon a bias where we can get in on like that engulfing move, whether it's bearish or bullish, but including the exponential moving averages, which is the EMAs. There's some that I'm looking at really closely on this at the minute. So this could be something to get excited about on gold, because I know there is some gold traders and some really good gold traders in the group. But yeah, we've got the used chef is there or thereabouts on the TP for 2%. Like me, let's see, we've got to go up to 0.90605. We're around about 3.5 pips away from hitting that. So the next time I come on the video, we'll probably see that we've hit the 2%. So far at the moment, we've got 2% Euro JPY has been hit, 1% on gold, that's 3%. This is on 1%, so that's 4% as it is. However, this could go up to that 2%, which would take it to 5% for this session. Okay, I'll see you in a bit, guys. I'm just going to go and have a cup of tea, then I'll come back to the chart in a bit. All right, okay, guys, and there we have it. USD Swiss franc 2% winner. Fantastic. That light bulb moment I had this morning with regards to utilizing the currency strength, obviously break the structure, on the breakout of the Asian with a continuation because that strength was in our favor. We wait for the pullback after the breakout, the pullback, and then the breakout, and then the pullback into the 50%, and then we look for the continuation drive. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, to be fair. Nice 2% win, mechanics, system, bias, currency strength, all rolled up nicely into a ball. Nice 2% win on that. Nice 2% win on the Euro JPY as well. So that's 4%. And then the little mess around that I've been having this morning with regards to gold, like I say, something I'm looking at as a concept to bring in as well. I'm looking at the gold and how we can use sessions as well. Again, a 1% on that. So you could see a 5% in fairness. But again, this did come and wick back out. But overall, for the Forex pairs, for the Fire entry system, a massively good day. I'm just going to stop the share a minute and give you my thoughts. So yesterday I went on about news and news affecting and things like that. It was the same for today. We kept away from the GBP pairs simply because of the news for the Bank of England interest rates. We used the Euro JPY. The news was prior, earlier on in the day. And then we used the USD Swiss franc. We got in on both massively playing out to the T. Mechanics, bias, system, everything worked fine. 4%, 100% strike rate on today. Absolutely love it. We just got to anticipate and just be patient. Not every day is going to be a trading day, okay? You've got to have things shown in your favor, whether that is your bias, the directional bias, whether it's the mechanics, or whether it's a currency strength. Every individual moving part has a reason why it's in the system, okay? So that's been the 6th of February. It's a Thursday. I'm closing this off now at 1:10 in the afternoon. I'm not going to do a New York session one today. I am getting stuff done to the side of the house, as you know, had some storm damage. But 4%, guys, Mr. Forex Fire, amazing stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, you want to come in onto the Discord and see when I'm doing these and calling these live and putting the chart markups and sharing it amongst the community, you need to click in the link, which will be somewhere in the YouTube description as well. Okay, guys, 4% for today. Fantastic. Coming towards the end of the week. I'm not going to be trading live tomorrow simply because it's NFP. I'll be taking tomorrow off, so I don't think there'll be any vlog tomorrow. I'm going to be looking at something on the gold in the morning, I think, or maybe in the afternoon, to be fair. But anyway, Mr. Forex Fire, 4% plus the 1% messing around on the gold. Great day, guys. Catch you later.